Hey, Shalom Israel. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHAWASHi. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elect men pushing in truth and in sincerity. Here you have here the brothers out there in Columbus, Ohio. Um, Vocab Malone round two. Or I like to call him Vocab Mahone, as the Apostle Ramla calls him. Well, he once called him. But, he's saying me shit in Spanish. The Ephraimite Spanish. But, yeah, man, this guy's just harassing brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Which I personally believe, Apostle Tahar said he could be lost or he could be paid off by these elites. But I personally believe he's paid off, man. Because when you go to his page, and, we've been going back and forth with this guy for a little bit. I've been doing different videos on him. Him slandering the word. 12 tribes chart, epic fail. Which, for the most part, all the camps have the same 12 tribes chart. Judah's so-called African Americans, all right, Levites, so-called Haitians, Benjamin, so-called West Indians, Issachar, so-called Mexicans, Manasseh, so-called Cubans, Simeon, the so-called Dominicans, Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, all right, Zebulon, the so-called Central Americans, Guatemala Guatemala, Panama, over there, all those Central American states, Asher being the so-called South Americans, Uruguay, Colombia, Argentina and Chile being Naphtali, so on and so forth, man. Reuben, Seminole Indians, Gad, North American Indians, you know. So he has a problem with that, man. Who we say the tribes are, you know. Errors of the one West Hebrew Israelites. So it's like 7 questions on Deuteronomy 28. So it's like, what does this guy have against us, man? What does this guy have against us, man? When all this wickedness is going out against the world, man. All this wickedness is going out against the world. Like, for example, I'll be looking at SGT report. This is right here, the Royals, pedophilia, and murder, man. Story just came out about, I believe it's either the Pope or one of the dudes that's in so-called priests over there in Vatican. How he got caught in some pedophilia homosexual scam, man. Hey, they always getting caught in pedophilia homosexual scams, man. Let's see. What's he got on his page? They are mainstream abominations, man. Pedogate. They got pedophilia, man. Pizzagate. Pedophilia, man. Pushing the LGBT, this lesbian nonsense, man. So he's supposed to be a man of the Lord, Vocab Malone, G-Man, all these other dudes that come up against the real men of the Lord. You're supposed to be a man of the Lord. You should respect another man that's pushing this word, man. But you don't, man. You respect wickedness. That's crazy. Because you don't have anything to say about the so-called white man and his wickedness. Really, you trying to graft him in, man. They're always coming up saying the white man can make it. The Lord died for everybody. Typical church thinking. But that's how you know what time you're in, man. We in the time of prophecy, man. And that further proves that we are the men of the Lord, man. This is what they did to YAHAWASHi, man. This is Matthew chapter 27. And I'm going to start at verse 11. And YAHAWASHi stood before the governor. And the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews? And YAHAWASHi said unto him, Thou sayest. So YAHAWASHi was humble, man. He was humble even until the time of his death, man. When he could have spoke up, even though they wouldn't believe him. Alright? Matthew 27 and 12. And that goes to show you, man, how when YAHAWASHi said, take no thought of what y'all to speak. For the Most High gonna give you a mouth to speak, man. So YAHAWASHi, you know what I'm saying? He just being a perfect example all around, man. And when we come into them last days, you know what I'm saying? It's not that time for you to be defending yourself. YAHAWASHi been doing it thus far. YAHAWASHi been doing it thus far on a smaller scale. You know what I'm saying? Giving us our daily bread. Feeding us with the spirit, keeping us fed, spiritually and physically, man. Keeping us safe from the wiles of this devil, Esau, and the spiritual demon, Satan. Keeping us strong, man. So it says, and when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. So Pilate marveled greatly, man. Like, damn, they talking all this stuff against you, yet and still you have nothing to say. Verse 15. And now at that feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Alright? Now, this notable prisoner, Barabbas, let's look up that word notable. Episimus.
Strong's G 1978. Episimus. Episimus.
Episimus. Let's see what this says. Having a mark on it, marked, stamped, coined, in a good sense, in a bad sense. Notorious. Alright? So he was this guy was notorious a criminal, man. And when you go into Mark the 15th chapter, let me see, I'm gonna just get it, show you what he did. Let's see what precept was that. Mark 15:7. And there was one named Barabbas, which laid hold with them that had made insurrection with them. Which that word insurrection basically goes into rioting. He was rioting with them, who had committed murder in the insurrection. You know? So this guy committed murder, man. That was he went off, man. In which, you know, the Pharisees and the Sadducees supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, so hardcore on the law. Why didn't they, you know, have this guy be crucified? But no, YAHAWASHi had to go through that, you know? Because it's prophesied that YAHAWASHi was going to have to go through it, man. Hold up. Matthew 27. 27 and 15. Now at that feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. And that's what made him notable. You know? He was a famous prisoner, man. And one of the things he was famous for was committing a murder, man. Which everybody knew it, man. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, oh, you know what? Actually, Salaki, brother, and I skipped the part that I had, you know, just wanted to make about Barabbas too. And it says that, verse 8, and the multitude crying aloud began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. Verse 9, but Pilate answered them, saying, what ye that I release unto you the king of the Jews? For he knew that YAHAWASHi had delivered him for envy. For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. So, you know, even Pilate understood and knew that YAHAWASHi was guiltless, just as we are guiltless. Like I said, we just push the word of YAHAWASHi, man. But here it is, everybody comes up against us, man. But the true people that are guilty, the so-called white men, he can be saved. What does he have to be saved from, man? He's doing okay, man. He can be wicked, and everybody still loves him. We can be righteous, and everybody still hates us. You know? Like I said, what does he have to be saved from? So this is back in Matthew 27 and verse 14. And he answered him to never a word, and so much that the governor marveled greatly. Now at that feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or YAHAWASHi, who is called the Anointed? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. When he was set on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, so when he was set on the judgment seat, the wife of Pilate said unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man? Let's look at this word just. You know, apostles and elders teachers look up words, man. Let me see. Just.
Strong's G 1342. Dikaios. Dikaios.
Dikaios. Just man. That righteous, observing divine laws. Upright, in a wide sense, upright, righteous, virtuous, keeping the commandments of God. Innocent, faultless, guiltless. You know? So even his wife seen that he was guiltless, man. Verse 19, For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy YAHAWASHi. You know, and the scriptures speak about following not a multitude to do evil, man. You know? But that's what our people do. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy YAHAWASHi. The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain were ye that I release unto you? They said Barabbas. So they rather release Barabbas, who was a known criminal, than YAHAWASHi, who was a known righteous man following the laws. You know, and that showed you that these people was, these chief Pharisees back then was our people, man, because it was a bunch of goddamn hypocrites. You know, that's why YAHAWASHi called them snakes and vipers, man. Pilate said unto them, What should I do then with YAHAWASHi, which is called the Anointed? They all said unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. You know? And that's like fucking, when somebody's wrong, they yell louder to make themselves seem right even though they still wrong. That's what our people was doing, man. They knew they was wrong. They was like, bump it, man. Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. So he like, look, I ain't got nothing to do with this. You know what I'm saying? I'm innocent of this man's blood because he didn't do anything wrong. You do what you got to do. Then answered all the people and said, His blood is on us and on our children. So our people got to pay for that, man. They made a vow unto the Lord, like, look, I don't give a fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll take his, you know what I'm saying? I'll be worthy, to, you know what I'm saying? Basically to take his life, man. Put his blood upon my hands, cause I gotta kill this dude. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged YAHAWASHi, he delivered him to be crucified. You know? And that's what we that's what we going through now, man. Being crucified, being slandered. You know? Like I said, that's prophecy, man. You know? As the scriptures say right here in it's Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And that's how you know we also getting closer to the end, man. Because closer to the end of YAHAWASHi, you know what I'm saying? Closer to that time that he was being crucified, they spoke ill of him, man. Like it actually really started to come out, man. How much they really hated him, man. And that's how much they really hate us, man. All the wickedness is going on in the world. And yet and still they can only see us. You know? And that's how people dwelling in gross darkness, man, not liking the light. As the scriptures say, man, if a house be set on the hill, it cannot be hid. So we that house with light, man. But, this world is in darkness, man. You know, this world dwelleth in darkness, man. You know, you see like them vampire movies that they don't like the light. You know, vampires is a bloodsucker, man. You know, so that's how 2/3 of our people is, man. Bloodsuckers, man. You know, preying on the innocent, so to speak. Well, yeah, man, preying on the innocent. You know, like I said, that's prophecy, man. For us to be persecuted for YAHAWASHi, man. That's how we know whose his is, man. So this is John chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So the Most High chose us, man. That's how we also, you know, give us further proof, you know what I'm saying, that we could possibly be the men of the Lord, man. So it's also a faith booster at the same time as a serious time, you know. It says, remember, this verse 20, John 15 and 20. Remember that the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. You know? So, hey, man, GMS has the truth, man. And GMS come in the spirit of YAHAWASHi, as you can see here. So with that, I hope brothers was edified. Shalom, Israel.